All right, folks, let's get right to it on a Thursday, right out of the gate. Let's see what's going on, catch up with all of what can be for now, today, tomorrow, this month. Where are we going from here? What's going on? A couple days into the year. Market's doing a little pullback. That's fine. That's great. Let's take a look. S&P 500. Start with the big markets, the big boys today. What's going on, chat? Great to see everybody picking up speed, right? As we get going into 2024. Here's some suggestions. Shoot your television, first of all. Turn off that news, turn off all of the stories and everything, and let's get to charts, levels, patterns, and the like. Because a lot's going on. I mean, let's just look at the signals. It's amazing. You think about last year, this time last year, everyone was looking for a recession, and what the markets do, almost like a top 10, Nasdaq was like a top 5 year for performance. So something's going on. It's not reflected in the news. We saw the patterns reflecting it, and we see patterns reflecting it again. Back, this was the October low for S&P futures. So a lot to go on, a lot to think about. Let's stick to the framework. If it's major markets, if it's crypto, listen, I find it a lot of people go through kind of a process of deprogramming, even where you learn the levels and you learn what's going on with harmonics, and that says one thing, but then you're looking around and you listen to the news, listen to everybody else, and it's like, wait a minute, this is like almost the opposite of what the patterns are saying. So we got to stick to that, and just be willing to kind of ride your own interpretation. That's what we do here. So really quick, let's look at the Qs, the SPY, before we move on. For this year, for what we're looking at right now, the QQQ just put in a 4-hour HSI oversold reading. Here you go. And I think this is important because it's the first one of the year. You check it out. We just popped out in the pre-market. Let's go to the regular trading session. There you go, on the Qs. Those are still, when you go to regular hours on the 4-hour, you still need time. And what's going on the 4-hour chart, take a look at the pattern. It's this massively stretched out shark. All right. Same deal on the daily, but there's your confirmation. It was all the way up there. Basically, the 408, 409 level is what triggered, and then you have about, 3-4 sessions of overspill. Come on down. We're looking for that oversold reading. Probably you're really close, around 395. And take a look at, here's HSI itself on the 4-hour. I mean, that's just extremely, that's so deeply oversold, remarkable on the 4-hour. Give it a little time, but you're looking for that thing to turn, and that could be, a nice setup coming. Great to see everybody today. Let me know what you guys want to look at. We're going to shoot through some stocks. I just want to get this out of the way. Well, of course, we'll go over to crypto. And just to get aware of where we are currently. With the Qs, with the SPY even. SPY looks like this. The SPY's been probably the most harmonic we've seen since the October low. Okay, and the bat pattern, big bat pattern from, that was a 4-hour. And then you go to the daily. Look, the daily's powerful. If we just looked at the daily itself, and we say this shark pattern absolutely annihilated. That's been blown out. We were looking for the SPY to mildly run to like 440 or so, and that thing ran to 470 by year's end. We were looking for that type 1 move as high as target 2 from October, and that just blasted through. The yellow dots, there's our first yellow dots, even those were blown out. So this is still in a strong territory. Maybe you come back. I'd be surprised if this thing came as back as low as 460, but you're hitting oversold levels. Now, that's the deal. That's kind of like the big update for today. That you've this little pullback from the last 3-4 days, you're hitting oversold now. So if you were looking for that opportunity, if you're looking for Nasdaq to do another 20% on top of a 45% year, which I am, yeah, get ready. We're close. And that's how we should treat it all year long, is just we know trend is still moving up. Let's stick with it and let's keep riding these little 4-hour pullbacks and get HSI to go. Hold on, I got 1 second. I got to turn that off. One moment. Thank you. Great. For today, the big boys like, Microsoft, just hanging up there. Look at this. Now, I think this is a great chart. Microsoft shows us a big fat bearish pattern, but what do we know about it? What do we know about how to handle it? I think this is something where you have a little experience with the patterns. That's when you're able to make this adjustment, that we're always looking for pattern completion and then yellow dot confirmation after the fact. 374.81 on Microsoft. I mean, that's perfect harmonic level there. What does it do? Little mild reaction and then runs right into an oversold reading to where this is it's a tricky read, but technically that's an oversold continuation trying to fail this bearish pattern. This is where that 30 bar technique comes in. Like, tell me what's happening to the right 30 bars of the pattern. Really easy way to determine that. And let's say you got in that trade. I mean, let's say you were trying to short Microsoft and thought, this is it. This is the shark. This is the shark that sends Microsoft to pennies. But then you get in the trade and it goes sideways for 30 days. That's where you have to make the adjustments. And even the fact that you got oversold tells you something. Maybe not a dud trade, but it's just a pause. It's a sideways move. And I think that's one of the dynamic interpretations that harmonic traders are able to do, but it takes a little experience. It's also why indicators and confirmation strategies are critical. A pattern is only a structure. It's only a drawing. It's not a trade opportunity unless you have confirmation, in my opinion. So, eyes on Microsoft, what you're looking for is a breakout, quite frankly. Like, if this pops above 375, 378 and gets going again, then it goes on a rope. And I would still be more inclined to think, I mean, ideally, you'd want the shark to go to a 5.0, back to 340, and then resume the uptrend. In fact, 340, that target one, that's if we get that. That would probably be the maximum pullback for the year on Microsoft. Because I'm looking for a breakout continuation of this. All right, this thing, this monthly, there you go. A monthly continuation. Now, I am looking at this kind of stuff too. There's a weekly bearish shark that we have to digest this. Let's see what happens on the daily. It's so close, really close. If this was more of a ideal type 1, like let's say that went from a shark to a 5-0 and then came back and we were here at a real official type 2. I would think that's something more substantial. I mean, this is, to me, you had a tight reaction. It's been super strong. This is another potential point where it should be rolling over. It's not guaranteed, but I'm watching, and here's some other signs that I think are critical for Microsoft that just happened this week. The amplified coming out of the zone. That's a big deal. Okay, and then you go to the bottom indicator screen. Here is standard RSI. Amplified out and standard RSI is out. That's triple confirmation for me. So again, this thing is doing a pause, kind of going sideways. Let's see what the implications are for at least something more, or at least to get that daily pullback. Again, that would be a shark to come down to 340, shark to 50. That would be the ideal spot. If I was lining things up, let's really get it right here at some point to come down. But for now, you're just going sideways in the zone because we got oversold. A few more of these that are similar. A lot are kind of hanging up there. Nvidia is another one. Just hanging up there. Earnings coming up in February. And look, it's bouncing shark to HSI dot to dot, bearish to bullish to bearish now. Where's the next signal? Where it is. Not there yet. I would, if I'm looking at Nvidia, this is the thing to look at. What's going to happen here on the 50 level for this reading? 1, 2, 3, 4. You had 4 tests of the daily RSI reading continuing to hold. That has to hold. This has to hold that. And if it does, that gets you your next move higher. I think it does go higher. Let's just see, where do we trigger that oversold reading? And of course, that bat pattern as about ideal of a continuation structure. As you can see, go to the monthly. So you have some perspective. Okay, you're looking for this to blow out. You have an HSI right now. That's why it's stalling. But you need to see some kind of continuation now. A couple more big ones like this. How about Amazon? Remember the big, the monthly bat pattern a year, 15 months ago was phenomenal. But this is my big question for these type of patterns. We've talked about this in the past. We're going to reach a point, folks, where the big type 1 reaction on the monthly or weekly patterns, if it's Amazon, Microsoft, Tesla, it doesn't matter. This is the make or break point to know if this initial reaction is going to lead to more. Typically, we'd look at the framework and we'd say, type 1 reaction. Okay, goes to target 1. Not surprised that it's all the way to target 2. Normally just target 1. But your confirmation for the bearish target, meaning how far can it go, just triggered HSI a few months ago. You have a check back. If a yellow dot showed up, by definition, you'd say, all right, maybe this thing is not going to go beyond target 2. That's why this is so critical. These type of patterns, these kind of structures, we've seen some of them. Microsoft, Meta, Nvidia, they've been able to do more. Things like Amazon, Google, a couple others. These are still just in a type 1 reaction. They're scratching the top limit, but that's a big deal. And I don't think people are looking at that kind of a thing enough. If you don't know the framework enough, understand that these targets are as important as the zones themselves. because they tell us a great deal of if this pattern is going to give us a lot more than just, is this going to be something that just continues on and on off of a single test? Or do we need to think that maybe somehow, some way, someday that would come back for a T2 retest? It fails. If we break out and close above last month's high, which is above 155.63, okay, we know that this thing is going to be a runner. You don't have to worry about the type 2 return. That's the deal. I mean, that's a real big framework analysis question where you don't always know. A lot of these do the perfect 1-2, but the longer term charts, you'll put in these kind of patterns. One of the insights or one of the kind of the clues is that they explode off the zone and they explode through target 1. No confirmation until much higher. That's big stuff. Netflix is the same way because of its daily chart, probably more so than even like this monthly. The monthly is back here checking back, but the daily is trying to threaten to take out this thing. We have a big crab pattern. Let me make this super big for everyone. Okay, look. These are the patterns that have been dictating Netflix for the last 8 months or more, almost 12, where we had the crab. We knew that it had to do a type 1. It went all the way to T2. Perfect example of a pattern that had a beautiful setup. Confirmation was a little bit delayed to the right of the completion. There's the completion, little reaction. You get an HSI right there, and then it comes all the way back to hit the hop and dumps. Look, we're shooting for target 1. There's your confirmation. So this is a great example on the bearish side where T2 holds firm and then goes back for the return. That's the big question on a lot of these. But on the bullish side, Netflix right now, you would think 478, that has been an area where it's paused. But look, oversold again. So and higher low. All right, so this is kind of fighting the resistance. Look, you break out above 498, 500 or something, Netflix is gone. It's a tough read. But the zones are well defined. Netflix is a massive breakout above 500, but it's not there yet. Really close. These are some kind of advanced interpretations we have to be on the lookout for. Big stuff. Even things like, let's go to Tesla because that's a big deal too. Tesla's interesting on a lot of reasons because we have a few bearish patterns just recently. Last week of December, you hit a bat pattern, alternate bat, by the way, target 1. We would actually, and this is a thought to be kind of a short-term idea for people. Look, 237 looks like the T1 dollar sign was put in yesterday, where type 1 is over. The reaction, at least, from a price action perspective on Tesla. Check this out. All right, but not oversold. So close. So close. I'm watching that where maybe this is a little sell-off on Tesla. I would need some confirmation, but if it's 237, 245, or 235, somewhere in that range, I'm looking for that retest to 260. That has to happen before any kind of a larger reversal unfolds. And then look at Tesla since, really last year with a few bearish structures all over the place. I mean, look, small butterfly down, back up for a bat, back up for another bat. Comes down, let's retest again, and then down. Go to the weekly. Again, check this stuff out. Major back-to-back stuff. And again, remember what I was saying about this target too. If it's really going to be a bigger move, it blasts through target 2. On this one, it didn't. Bat pattern, we were in front of that 15 months ago. It sails on through target 1. There's target 2 with a bat. And every time it got to 223, okay, it runs into target 2, 295, and forms a bat. Does a reaction off the bat, 223. So we're squeezed. And this whole long-term scenario squeezes between that and the retest. This thing could stay range-bound for a while to resolve all of this. But do we get, this is the question. For these, not all stocks are the same, but listen, and we're going to go to crypto, and I'm going to outline this in crypto as well, because we have to ask ourselves that question as well. On a long-term chart, do we need to retest the bat pattern at 127.88 to finalize the type 2 before that new cycle can continue? That's a big question. That's a big question. I'm not there yet. I think I'll take this range right now. Let me blow it up where we're just on a quick return phase on Tesla. Let's get it back to 290. Let's return this off that yellow dot and go back to 290 in the short term. We'll deal with the longer term consequences later. But, we got a lot of this. Here's another one I've been mentioning for a while, Caterpillar. Remember the crab pattern? Okay. We were down at 223. The clip almost 300 a couple of days ago, and now dropping like a rock. Why? It's a retest. I mean, these back-to-back patterns do matter. But off of that shark, this shark originally, here we have another perfect example. Goes to target 1, almost to target 2, but didn't quite get there and gave you a bullish pattern. Now a blast on through target 1. And then you retest the bearish structure. So there's a lot going on up here, even for Caterpillar. I'm going to say, all right, pause and let that come in a little bit. We have been talking in recent sessions about the fact that there's going to be some retrenchment, some retracement needed before 2024 can really light up. You had a hell of a move, October till mid-December, end of December even. And so you take a few days or 2 or 3 weeks to let out some air. Don't be surprised. And we do have new patterns too to look at. So be aware of that. Couple of interesting things so you guys know crude oil is something that we need to really focus on for a number of reasons. I mean, it's a massive 2 of 2 on the weekly. Here the daily, another pattern, $70, the big level. Not only that, but look, these kind of situations where we have a T2, this is a weekly chart, mind you, and look, T2, bang, HSI arrow, bang. The next week we check back, okay, and we retest. They dunk it to 70 and they hold it again. We go green this week. We go green next week. We are in business. That means we definitely want to be on energy stocks now. Energy, alt energy, green tech. A lot of them got destroyed, especially that green tech and solar. Look, this kind of 2 of 2 chart with crude oil setting up is absolutely where you want to be, in front of the curve, okay, before oil begins to pop out of this hole at a 70. So be aware of that. Crude oil, that's an A1 position on a weekly chart. Now let's look at some ideas. Apache, some new idea stuff. Things that I'm looking on currently. Their HSI on the weekly, yeah, it's oversold. The daily's better. Check out the big Gartley. That's a nice Gartley too. I mean, a really real tight symmetry right off the June lows. Okay, this is down here around 33.98. It's the exact XA level. Maybe a little bit lower, but pretty close. Pretty close there. I mean, you've got that just really nice structures. And look at all of the patterns that have, you go back a year, less than a year, you've had 3 patterns, every one of them real steady type 1 move. I mean, each of them gave you a little bit more, but let's focus on XA to T1. That's the bread and butter right there. Okay, this one got overrun a little bit, but we still had off the hop a T1 reaction right back for T2. So, under 34, a shade, and then back to 38, 38 is the intended short-term move. But again, looking for crude oil to put in a bottom. Here's something else. These solar stocks, they got crushed, but perfectly coming into alignment with an all-time bat pattern on solar edge. Okay, that was 350. Now getting ready to retest the XA level at 76.57. That's your number. Check out the zone, folks. I mean, this is another one where, hey, it's exactly the kind of situation you want to line up. Make it real big. Make it really pop here. There's pattern completion. T1 goes on. HSI arrow and a yellow dot. And let me share something with everyone, especially those that have the software. A technique that I look at frequently it does happen. It's kind of a good rule of thumb. Once you get a yellow dot, I mean, those are the 3 things that we always want to see. Probably is the most ideal alignment where you complete the structure, you get HSI, and you get a yellow dot. Okay, and this yellow dot actually is not related to exactly this arrow, but it works for this discussion, and I'll come back to this in a second. But simply like this, you see a yellow dot. Okay, in terms of what that candle is, you look at the open of that candle. And let me, again, just make it even bigger. So we're looking at this candle. That's the yellow dot. All right, where's the open of that? 77.74. So use that like this to the right of the chart, because once that yellow dot's formed, you're really in business for the trade, where your execution in a lot of cases is to the right, can be before. If you're down here looking for a turnaround, that's valid if you have other confirmation. But, really, the most ideal circumstances are yellow dot, and then the next bar or 2 bars, they retest the open of that bar. I don't know why that is, but it just seems it is a good spot to be lining up, especially when you have confirmation where it should turn around. It had a nice thrust. Well, maybe we're looking at a nominal pullback, but you've got a bunch of these that have done that. I mean, check out something like CSUN here. This is, or not CSUN, sorry. Just Sun Fun. No, sorry, it was CSIQ. Canadian Solar, not a Canadian company, but there you go. I mean, big pattern on the weekly, 1831. The daily had some other things down here. I mean, it was just a bunch of stuff, all that around 18 to 22. And it's still early in that process, but, take a look. Software's dishing it out. You've got it on the weekly. The daily's fine-tuning it. I would even argue that you're still in the zone on the daily. 22.51 would be a good spot. Whole bunch of these. Trying to give you guys ideas of things that have yet to be realized. The other one, I've mentioned this before, Transocean. Okay. Bat pattern. Here we go. Back on the nominal test of the XA level. 626. Patterns that have yet to move. There you go. Couple more. Sure. You guys want AI? AI stocks. Here's AI. Okay, C3 AI. It's not done anything. You better serve trading this. You know, even the 4 hour, it's kind of not done a heck of a lot. Somebody wants, you want to look at sound AI. Yeah, nice chart. Look, this is kind of like the cannabis stocks, in my opinion, but that's a nice one. But you're gonna just you have to sit on that. Just done nothing. You need that whole sector to start running to get these kind of things. There's POAI. This is a low floater, low volume, beautiful pattern, but you could be on that for months without anything happening. What's up, Scuba Steve? You're saying AI has a pattern on the hourly. Okay, probably, but I would only trade it on the hourly. There's the 4 hour. Hourly's got a shark. Nice. But you haven't seen this thing. I mean, I feel like with a stock like this, you're looking for that bigger move. You're looking for this thing to do like a Carvana move. But that's a nice one, 27.50. Maybe it's a good option play. You know, give me the 30 calls from 27 to 30. Give me, you know, a 1 month call or something. I could see that. That's interesting. Yeah. Couple more. I still think, yeah, I think we need to look at these other healthcare. Look, I'm looking for stuff that has yet or is in the process of major development, like Humana. Okay, got down. We were sleeping on this. I was. Remember this? Trying to get to 445. Humana. This is a big one. That's a big type 2 on the Gartley. And these are the kind of things where they're sleepers. They don't seem like they're going to yield big moves until it's too late because they pop up on your 52 week new high list. And you're like, what was I thinking? Why didn't I hit that hard? What was the other one? HCA? No, not HCA. That's already the T2. Oh, I'll tell you one that I showed. I showed this about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Lilly, and this is another one. We were on this on an hourly right here at the Gartley at 564. And you know, this one and Costco, couple of other these type of just long-term trending stocks continue to put beautiful bullish patterns on the hourlies, and every time it's like it's a slower way to swing trade, but it's, you know, been fruitful to say the least. Target, let's see what's going on there, because that thing ever since the low, remember this all the way down there at 110. Now we're up here, target 1, target 2. Are we going to get to target 2? 153, or is that it? Because the daily's probably pausing at the moment at this alternate bat. Also, the weekly is like 166, but might need some more time. But these are the kind of big patterns that we want to be lining up. We want to be in front of these. Few more. What was that? Gold chart. CYH. Oh no, that's not gold. That's community health. CYH is like this. That's in those low floaters. But that's a beautiful one. Thank you. Thank you, Nance. Nance Z. Yep. But that's a nice one. And you can tell community health is in a better spot than it was a couple of weeks ago. We were down here at $2. We're staring that right at the low. Okay, but sometimes when these dip below, you want to wait for a little development like that. You're still buying it under the zone. 353 is the number. And that is a type 2, so you're looking for that to do something much bigger. You're going to be waiting on it. Just be aware. That's a slow mover. Will take time to develop, and then it'll just kind of burst, probably. Couple more. Stocks. Yeah, what's up? What's up, Pete? Yeah, I know. Well, at least no crypto for now. We're about to jump to crypto. ZIM. What's up, G-Dog? G-Dog, way to go. Thank you for making this stream better through a real nice contribution like that. Well, I don't know what Zim integrated shipping does, but I know they're going to probably be doing a lot more very soon with a chart like that. Okay, there's the completion of the pattern, but there's the confirmation. That's how you know. If you have a pattern that has zero confirmation, you're going to have to wait. And it could do this kind of a thing and look like a dog. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right, excuse me. 1 second. I like that. Let's add that to the low floater list, if you will. Zim, integrated shipping services. Not bad. That's kind of like my Weight Watchers, They got hit today, but we were talking about this 567 area for a 113. And you had some news come out today, which sets it up. Also, on the weekly, we're going to get the next confirmation, most likely. I think this thing gets to $6, and we'll look at that in a week or so. But, it's almost good to go. As is, almost good to go. But I, exactly like what's happening where this short-term pullback sets you up. And yeah, remember, I gotta pull this up for you guys. Every time I look at I know on the recording it comes out, it could be a lot better. But that's a 1-2. And that's why we respect the framework, target 1 to target 2, back up, type 2, and now, yeah, target 2 at 585 even. That's the number. 585, 567, that's your number. That's going to be a big thing for this. Charge point, boy, that was just a real big, snoozer. But check it out. We were looking at that at $5, $6, I think. 494, 496 is the terminal bar, and it went to 2. I mean, again, low floater. No question there. Big pattern. That was the daily. There's your weekly. Boy, that's a ugly chart. That's an ugly chart. You know what? That reminds me of like cannabis stocks. Which, hello, Tilray, trying to do something. Want to talk about more low floaters. They had a pop, they were thinking about they're going to get their act together. One of the most disappointing stories of 2020. Thought that was going to be the move. But I also don't want to be dismissive on this sector because, look, some of these guys are not going out of business. If it's Curaleaf, and this is kind of a United States thing, folks, but there's things here. Curaleaf, that's a bat pattern. All the way down there, 323. You're now 439. Can I get 1,000 shares maybe? I mean, this is really the thought. Give me 1,000 shares. And let me just put 1,000 shares away for a very long time. Or at least till we get to target 1. It's the only way to play that. No options. Sorry, this sector is just dead. But a low floater where I like what I see now after a year of just flatlining at the hop level. Sometimes that's good enough. Where structurally, at a perfect pattern down here at 661. But again, what happens? 30 days, it flatlines to down. That tells you, something's not right. It's not responding. All right, hit the hop, goes sideways. Okay, that's a little better. And target 1's still objective. But don't expect much. I mean, you could see you could see that go sideways for another 6 months. And other stocks go crazy, and you just look at that thing, and hey, I'm talking from experience because this is how it goes. When you have assets that are like, just don't do anything for a long time while the rest of the market is exploding, or that can be a very frustrating situation. You almost be inclined to sell it because hey, it's not happening. It's not happening. Yeah, because it's not the season for it. But let's plant some seeds, so to speak. That's a joke. But let's plant some seeds down here for, little fall harvest 1033. That works. The other one in that sector is IIPR. That's this, there you go. Innovative Industrial Properties. I know this, that they are kind of more like the real estate play. And just from tracking that sector. But hey, that was 280 on the high, almost 300 at the low here, 65. There is a play here. There is a trade here. Better yet, better than a trade. There's a long-term opportunity. Okay, long-term opportunity. I look at it like this. This big pattern is one cycle. I think the cannabis cycle, like the Bitcoin halving cycle. It is kind of strange, but that legalization really took shape on the 16 cycle, the first talk of it, and then down here to 20, and then maybe 24 again. IIPR, okay, things that have not moved. That's the focus. It's like $25,000 pyramid. Okay, things that have not moved for 1,000. IIPR. RIG. Cureleaf, CURLF. Couple more. What's up? Yes, what's up, chat? What's going on? You guys are a little active today. Yeah, Evan, for real. The stories I have, my man. The stories I have. A few more. What's up, Diamond Jim? Wants to look at Compass Pathways. Have no idea. I hope this is a good one, especially for those that have the software. My people that have the software, I'll always take your questions. Compass Pathways, nothing for me. I mean, there's daily. Okay. Another irregular pattern, but better at the hop level. Let that be a lesson. Okay, learn to love the hop. Harmonic optimal price. When you see it flatline, I was just saying that about Tilray. 564. It flatlined there for 4 months and now got some lift. But that's just a little too far along for me. Couple more individual stuff, and then let's get on to our favorite crypto. Crypto workhorse. I don't know. Oh, we can't do that, man. Who put that up? I should time you out. Corn trader, what are you doing sending me a 35-cent stock? Come on. There's a lot better things than 35-cent stocks. A lot better things. Let's get over to crypto. Crypto. I just did it. Corn. There's nothing there. Unless you got some inside secret. I mean, I just don't know. Jumia or Joomla? Jumia. I can't do this, but another three. Who said that one? Daniel, what's up? Look, when you see this stuff and it's not here, okay, it's not like a Tilray that's sitting right there at the hop level or right off of it. You guys give me stuff that are already at target ones. I can't do much with it. But I will say this. Learn. Live it. Learn it. Know it. Okay? Go up T1, T2. That's probably a T2, but there's confirmation. When the stuff drags, there's hop at 233, and it does this kind of a thing, you know the hop is sticking. But I can't help you there. Beyond that, I can't help you. Last one, because I did see Mobley demolished. Yeah, give me a perfect T2, right? Mobileye. Mobileye is a buy. Mobileye is a buy. Why? It's a T2 today. Isn't that amazing how it happens? The wonder that I have for harmonic patterns, my amazement when harmonic patterns, not only do they form, but they do the T1 and T2, and we now have it on the software. Look, because we added that 2 months ago, and it's been a beautiful feature. Look, T1 to T1 dollar sign, that's the reaction minimal move for there. But this one went all the way to T2. How do you know? Well, confirmation, you never got bearish confirmation until all the way up here. And then what's it do? It goes sideways for 8 or 9 months, and then eventually gets back for the T2. Typically, our thought process on these patterns are like this. Go to the T1, then come on back down, right away for T2 in a really tight fashion, and then give me a perfect trade up to T2. It doesn't happen like that. Look, structurally, yes, there are lots of times where we get that really beautiful smooth action. But other times it does this kind of a thing, but we still have to include the fact that an eventual retest of the pattern is mechanical. Remember what I said about some of those first things we were looking at, the long-term assessments we're considering immediately. If you stall at target 2s and can never make it through, especially long-term patterns like this, that's telling you something. And at an eventual retest for a target 2 is needed structurally. There you go. Now we're in opportunity. Everyone's throwing that thing away. Us, we're starting to sniff this out and say, I think there's an opportunity here. Let's just let this stuff get resolved. You know, HSI, let that pop out. Amplified and standard RSI, those are oversold. Deeply, they'd say that's capitulation. That needs to pivot out, but at least everything you want is there. And again, look, long-term chart, check it out. On the IPO, it's just a full 886 cycle. There's another IPO cycle reset. Another common thing. Take all-time 886. You know, they're 886 on this. It's like 27.45, so you're close. We know we're close. That's a great one. That's a great one for everything we wanted to talk about today. All right, Apple. Yeah, okay, last one, because Apple's huge. And Apple's not a big deal. I mean, Apple's probably setting up for yet another opportunity here. Shark to 5.0 hitting today. Thank you. Vision IT, appreciate that. Okay. This is what we want. When we have shark patterns, we looked at Microsoft, a couple others that were, they're up here, high level sharks. They haven't rolled over yet. For me, the shark to a 5-0. That's what that is. 182 is an important minimum. Do we have confirmation? Yeah, we're oversold, but look, you're not there yet. A couple more days. Eye on this. Or, this is a big one. Letting out a lot of air. Amplified. That's pretty deep. Telling you we're close, but still early. Here's the biggie. Standard RSI up hitting there. About to hit oversold. That only happens every few months, if not, 2 or 3 times a year, if that. Last time was October, then August. Every one of those was a critical low. And that's what we have again. Look, this little correction of the last 5-7 sessions is a gift. And we want that. We want this thing to come down, let it out. I mean, this is the reaction, the initial reaction off of a lot of kind of top end moves. And Apple is another one here where, remember what I said about making that assessment of being at a target 2? Okay, this was how do you know? I mean, Apple was a type 2 at the low. Type 1, come back, type 2, there's target 2. And it blows on through. All right, well, there's confirmation is all the way up here around 188, 185, and then we had this stuff. Apple really is about this daily chart because we have been ping-ponging. Look at all these. Let me clean it up. Back to back to back. Look. 190, we were in front of that, and then went to the shark. Someone sent me a good note of like, why wasn't I... What were we looking for in Apple back here in November? And it was confirmation. We had the type 1 on the shark, bang, all the way back down to type 2. And then it went to target 2. So many things back to back at 195. No confirmation up here. This tells me this is just a reaction. Okay, just a reaction. I suspect you're looking at some important lows here that will turn very soon. Anyway, let's get into more of that on Tuesday. I'm liking this. I'm liking where we are with this recent pullback. We'll probably trigger very soon, where then you find yourself by the end of January where we make that run back up. That makes sense. Okay, listen. What happened? What happened to crypto? What happened to BTC? Because down and up and down again. It's really, or up and down and up. It was nothing. I mean, really, no, I'm nothing to concern yourself with too much. It's amazing. So yesterday seemed like it caught a lot of people off guard. Just a small reaction within this longer term move, and 42K continues to hold. 42K is the number for now. It tried to flush to 40, but obviously they've got orders stacked right above 40, and that's probably a good sign. A lot of wicks down here. Every time they've sold off, under 42,000, that's quickly bought up. So yesterday was a real probe of what is possible, what is to come. But check out the weekly chart. And this is, to me, probably the most interesting. We have an HSI. Remember what I've been saying, that this was an area where we would digest the run. 40 to 45. It's because of HSI, like there, and then the lows. And we'll do that for a little while. Okay, nothing changes. We're still going up. 48.5, 48.6 is still a critical, important short-term number, and we're just pausing here. It's an HSI overbought pause, 4 weeks into it. And there we go. We are still looking for the bigger B point. Where could we get this thing? Do we have a B point that's going to take us into the bigger stretch? And this is the only consideration between now and April, the approximate halving. Like, is the B point here? Is our B point up here, 618 at like 50K? And then down to like a minimum 382 move? And then go. It's something like that. Could even be even shorter. We've talked about why the 2018 cycle is also something to consider. This B2C leg, that could be a real short, kind of diminutive move, but there's something like that. I think you're still a few weeks away before that moves, before that develops. And I don't think anything is here yet to say, I would worry about anything rolling over until we get to 48. So that's just the general framework. I think we're in the tail end of this first move that really began in earnest off of the August lows. Not a lot to think about. Really not a lot to kind of overthink actually there. And where's Ethereum? Where'd we go? Ethereum. Okay. Another HSI sideways consolidation deal. And we could go through this again. Look, last couple of HSIs, and this is weekly, every one of them giving us 8 to 12 week sideways range. There again. And here we go again. So just pausing, understand that even in the strongest of crypto cycles, you're not going to be able to escape the natural stair-step process that has to happen. And again, look, we're overbought. We're rolling over. At least come down to the 50 level. Let enough air come out of the tires here. That would be fine for me. HSI is already out. That'll kiss the 50 at a minimum. And just a pause, another pause phase, folks. So if you're going to FOMO into Ethereum now, don't be surprised to see that thing pull back 10%, something like that. Just be patient with this crypto cycle. One moment. Okay. What else do we have? Because yesterday was a real interesting flush. That makes me wonder if we should start being, bottom fishing bids for these individual 10% corrective days like XRP did. And I was saying anything under 60 cents for XRP is probably a good buy. And that thing flashed in some instances. All right, in some exchanges that was back at 47 cents. If it was your lighter exchanges, all right, there's Qcoin. I mean, I'm beginning to wonder if we just need to kind of take a strategy or a thought of just parking bottom fishing orders that get picked up in flash crashes. XRP, depending on what exchange you're looking at, triggered a ton of stuff yesterday. I mean, ton. I want to be looking at this. It was a technical event. In some instances, you hit some big numbers that said, okay, let's give it a go. Let's finally do 2 of 2s. Here's another one. Avalanche. Remember this? We had a 4-hour crab pattern down here. Shark, excuse me, hop level, 35 and change. And that completed. That was a flush. We have HSI now checking back. You are one more green bar away from actually giving yourself a yellow dot. This is big stuff. And that was 48. This is 33 on the capitulation low. We need to be trading this. This is why we're going to do our thing on Wednesday. Hey, what's up, Godsu? Godsu, you need to check, make sure you're on the right data feed. Make sure in the same exchange. It's the one thing about these different crypto exchanges is they have slightly different feeds and slightly different data points where you might not get the same pattern. So if I'm, look up here in the left corner, if I'm on Binance or Coinbase, make sure you're on the same. Yeah. A couple more. That's Avalanche. And Solana, folks. So let Solana be a lesson. And again, this is going to be important that we learn these lessons now as we get later into the year, okay? Because yesterday was a huge opportunity. And they're going to come, but you're sitting there while the market's going up thinking, I'm never going to get a sell-off. And then it comes in a flash and you're not ready or you're not positioned. Well, Solana, we know the deal. Check that out. And we got the hourly dot. It was back to back. Deep crab at 100. And then we got the dot yesterday on the hourly. That was Wednesday. We talked about this on Tuesday at around 97. Hop level is 94. All right. Depending on the feed again, some are a little bit lower, some are a little bit higher. There's the Binance feed. Binance feed is actually is a little different than that last feed. I mean, this showed you going down to 86. This is the problem with these different feeds. There's not a centralized exchange. But again, you guys see why I have multiple feeds up here. Binance US is even different from regular Binance. But generally, you see the deal. I mean, what pattern do you use? The simple answer is, what exchange do you use to trade your crypto? So if I'm on Coinbase, I trade on Coinbase. I use the Coinbase chart. I'm on Binance, I use the Binance chart. But you see the picture. And they're all 2 of 2s. So be aware of that. That was a big deal. Storage, you know, we were talking 70 cents from this 4-hour pattern or daily pattern not 10 days ago. And it dipped down to 55. Well, this is crypto. That's it. It's still fine. We're still looking for capturing these oversold readings. Yeah, and this is a look what happened there. I mean, it did go to target too on the deep crab. Amazing. Maybe we need a yellow dot, but the 4-hour, what happened to our shark pattern? We had a shark right here, and you've got 4-hour. I mean, this is the thing, okay? And crypto can be deceiving in terms of, you know, realistic price levels. I mean, here are all the numbers. It's 62. You know, around 70 was HSI. We were looking at that, or 69, something like that. And it flashed down. Well, that's just overspill, crypto volatility. I'd be focused more on 62 for storage, but I still don't know where my shark went. I'll have to find that. I'll have to look at the original post. See, Kraken doesn't have the pattern, but Binance has the pattern on the daily. There's Coinbase doesn't have the pattern on the daily. Maybe it was Coinbase had it on the 4-hour. I have to go back to that. I don't know what happened there. There was a shark, and we were looking at that right at 70 cents, and we still are. That's all right. A few more. Things that have my attention. Let's say it that way. So check out scale, folks. This has started to run. This is something that way back here. It's another one that I think is an example of delayed response or delayed kind of reaction. Where is this? I'm gonna yell here. We had a bunch of patterns down there. Maybe let me check my settings. This is a joke. Am I missing patterns? No, I got it. Scale. Where's the pattern that was to the left here? Scale, I don't know what, I thought I had a pattern, 265, but I thought I had a bigger pattern than that. It's starting to run. Look, when these kind of things are, they start moving, there's going to be a follow through. I think that's one of them. Probably the other one I wanted to show was H bar. And H bar does have a big pattern. Where'd you go? Just starting to come off. There you go. That's a lot better. Big bat pattern. So get above 9 cents. You've got some overhead resistance right now at 9 cents, but that's one to be watching very carefully, closely. Again, let that thing kind of come back in. But talk about looking left. That's a beauty. And we've seen a number of these that are like this, that once they get out of that, above that XA level, I like it. Things that have not moved. That's what we're looking for. A couple more of these. This ICP, I mentioned that. This thing is trying to push. Now, can't really see anything like that, but we got to blow it up. That thing's starting to do stuff. I'm not longing anything just yet, but look, you had some patterns down here. I'm all at $3. Incredible. Now 14. Keep your eye on it. Don't let that get out of your sight, because you do have patterns here looking left. This is reminds me of a couple of these that had patterns and they just did amazing runs beyond what I thought was like an initial thrust. This LDO, there you go. It's another one. Had a bunch of patterns around 180 after making an initial low down here at, what was that, 50 cents. Important to notice the ones that have, are at least on the verge of breaking out and have really nice structure. LDO on the, where's weekly? Weekly, come on. Yeah, daily. I guess that's newer. But you're threatening to make a move into price discovery. The shark was on the hourly for that last one, yeah. Thank you. Couple more. Sure, I'll look at sushi. Sushi, cake, synthetics. Those are all, you know, just doing their thing. Look, oh, sweet. Maybe that's the best one I've seen in the last 2 or 3 days. Ah, it just disappeared. Why? That was beautiful. 95 cents. Where'd you go? Yeah, it was a Gartley. I don't know why that keeps disappearing, but you guys see that Gartley. 103 is the number. That's target one. And with these recent bearish patterns giving you that reaction, I'm now looking for the return phase where you take off from that level. That's a nice one. Okay, here's one. I know I mentioned this last time. And this is another one structurally. Remember Tia, Celestia? And remember this. Looks like a crazy chart, right? Overextended. Remember the hourly or the 4 hour? Look at that. That's why these kind of charts, when they go high level, sideways, do the one, bang, come for the two, that's when you know they're ready to run. I mean, that Celestia, look, a lot of you in here know more about these projects than me. And in a way, I'm trying to keep myself a little bit in the dark on getting too caught up in a narrative. Give me the charts. And I think I'll find, as I process through the dozens, if not hundreds of possible crypto, the charts stick out of which ones are really moving and which aren't. This is another one. You know, there's a beautiful type 2 on the 4 hour. And look at that trend line. So you almost have to kind of go back here and say, oh, 245, I missed that ride. But you're more focused on this rope continuing. Yeah. Let's look at the total, please. Because yesterday seems like it's going to be just a quick burner shakeout. What was that? Did you get down to 150 on that type 2 on the 4 hour? No. But didn't we have something on the DeFi? Hold on. Oh, we sure did. Really interesting. On the 4 hour, what about the daily? So yeah, here's the daily deal. That's on total DeFi. We did have the crab. We talked about this. So we almost got to the hop and got rejected. This is a huge thing. This crab pattern on the total DeFi index, and we had a massive rejection yesterday. All right, I'm going to have to watch this. This is really important, that total DeFi. If you want this party to continue, total DeFi's got to annihilate the hop at 80 billion roughly. If it does, then you will run. Gotta watch this. Where's I knew this was a big deal. Yeah, see, Amplified came out yesterday. Standard RSI came out yesterday. But that hit the 50 level. Let's keep an eye on this. Really important to note that if we roll over, let's say we get a bearish day tomorrow or into the weekend, and we find ourselves back under 69 billion, this could be in a larger pause. But that's it. I mean, what about total 3? Where are we there? See? We've got some patterns here. That's a deep crab off the low. Okay, trying to fail it, but let's see. Let's just see. I mean, I think this digestion, recent pause phase continues for now. Select crypto will run. The larger market, probably going to need time. Like, let's do a 30-day count. Just so you know. Theoretically, you go back to the 7th. So tomorrow, since that pattern completed, let's give it one more day. Maybe by Tuesday, this will open up. That's what you want to see. Again, Wednesday the 10th, we're doing the Harmonic pattern crypto, short-term crypto trading session. So if you want to attend that, subscribe, upgrade, get with the gold membership, get the software, or send me a note at harmonictrader@gmail.com if you have purchased and you haven't connected with us. The rest of it, if you have any other questions in terms of the software or anything, get with me, send me a note. But I feel like yesterday was a test for everyone. Just be aware that these days are going to come, and you want to have a chunk of your change ready so that when they do come, you're there to snap things up on a discount. Because these 10, 20% drawdowns in a single day, they're opportunities. They're just over-leveraged crypto traders that are going to serve up opportunities for all of us. That's really what Wednesday will be all about as a part of this cycle. Why? Because pretty much every bullish cycle is going to give you a nice move. In my opinion, with this kind of push, that's how to think about it. That's the truth. So get with that. Everyone else, you have any questions? Wednesday the 10th, be there. Until then, have a great weekend. I'm done for the day. It's been a pleasure. Until Tuesday, 12 noon, go get them. Take care, folks.